So I thought I'd give you guys a little food for thought into why I put so much work into certain areas of the car, and part of the reason why it takes so long to get finished. Just continually finding one thing after another. This time it's the front suspension, so I pulled it all out to get it all updated, new bushings and ball joints and all that good stuff. But then behind the suspension, you find all kinds of stuff that's wrong that I just don't feel comfortable leaving, and it's stuff like this. So I pointed out in an earlier update about the rust that I found, right? So I polished away all the undercoating and all the seam sealer to see the extent of it, right? That's a pretty big rust hole there. There's a little bit here, right? And that's a pretty critical structure point in the car, your strut tower, right? Found some here as well. So I'm gonna patch all that up before I put the suspension back in. For now, I'm just gonna patch it up with sheet metal. It's just gonna help stiffen it up a little bit. Mainly because I want to try and reduce the flex. There's going to be a fair amount of flex in this area just because there's no cage attached to it. So I'm going to just patch it with tin, nothing extravagant, just to try and help hold it together. Hopefully in a future life, all this comes out anyways and just becomes part of the roll cage. So for now, tin will do. We'll weld it in there. It'll help stiffen it up a little bit. And then in the first couple episodes, I have been asked why I go through all the effort to run these kind of subframe rails the entire length of the car. And that is for this reason alone. If I climb down here underneath the car, this is your subframe or frame rail type deal on a unibody car, right? This, you can see clearly, this is what's left of it, right? So I could have just put pads in, right? I could have just put pads in to attach the roll cage to, but really, what good is that gonna do if the structure that you're attaching to can just crumble on an impact, right? So you're not doing yourself any favors, you're not doing your car any favors, and you're just kind of wasting your time. This car clearly wasn't suitable to be on the road anymore with this kind of rust. And why am I gonna feel safe driving it into a corner at 60 plus miles an hour beside a bunch of other cars that were not safe to be on the road anymore? Doesn't make a lot of sense. Now, I could have got a piece that just caps this and then re-welded it, and the structure might have been usable, but in order to go through all the work to prep that, weld it on, make sure it's all good, it would have been the exact same amount of work to do what I did up top. So there's really no reason to even worry about this. We'll just kind of let it rot away. It's almost like weight reduction. If I roll over here, so the only thing I got left to finish with that, you can see this gap here. So you can see where that tube fits right inside that frame rail, and it fits in all the way down. I am going to build a cap here, probably something that slopes up and just attaches to that. And then you can see underneath all the burnt underspray, but that frame rail is solid welded all the way through, right? Just something to think about. Is it worth the extra work now, or is it worth the extra work of building an entire new car? Because when you take a big crash, you're left with a roll cage and no car attached to it. Your call, I guess.